Hello there, my name is James Scoggin, and my story is the Ballad of John Henry. It's a story about the railroad industry and the man who embodied it from the very beginning. So you came here for a story about John Henry, huh? No, I can't say I blame you. Lots of people should hear about him. Yeah, I used to work with him. He's probably the strongest, best railroad worker there's ever been. He did better than any of us, and I weren't no slouch, but he could eat my lunch any day of the week. I mean, he swung that hammer in just one shot, took a spike right through the ground. Didn't matter how thick it was. We were all impressed with John, except maybe our boss. See, this is the bit that you probably wanted to know. He was always looking for a way to cut costs, get rid of us probably at some point. And so he comes swaggering up one day, and he's got this giant machine. This thing looks like it's just made for steam. And it's got this hammer attached. And he says, "Boys, this, I ain't going to need you anymore." And, well, me and the other guys, well, most of us were just looking on, probably getting ready to lose our jobs, but not John. He just smiles and says, "There ain't no way this thing's going to replace us. You need us." And the boss says, "You want to bet?" John says, "Yeah, I'll smoke this machine any day of the week. Just get some tracks set up. I'll show you." So the boss, well, he doesn't look like he's taking this very seriously, but he says, "Alright, fine. Tomorrow morning, you and me, we're going to have ourselves a showdown." So next morning we get into work and find out that, well, most of the day is going to be taken up by this competition. There's two sets of tracks laid out. John's set up on one, and this machine is set up on the other. So we're all looking on, and the boss gets everything started. He goes up to the machine. He starts messing with all these dials and pulling levers and just getting everything going every which way. And there's steam billowing out of this thing, and it starts shaking to some sort of life. And it just starts hammering and pounding, just a steady rhythm, and each section that gets hit, it just drives a stake right through every time. I mean, I've never been able to do nothing like that. But John, he just smiles and just starts wailing away at every spike in front of him. And he's just going and going and going, and he is leaving that contraption in the dust. And so the boss man, he's looking over, and he is furious. I mean, he's beat red, and he just jumps up on this thing, and he says, "There ain't no way I'm going to lose." So he just starts pulling more levers, twisting more dials, and this thing, it just starts shuddering. It's going crazy. It's shaking, and there's just steam coming out of everywhere. And just every single gap in the thing, just steam billowing out into the sky. And we're all just looking on like, he's just gone crazy. This thing is going to bust itself apart, but it's catching up. It's catching up. It's just going. And John's just sitting there looking at it, but he just smiles again. He doesn't even seem to break a sweat, and he just, I can't even describe it to this day. He just goes into like a blur. His arms just, you can't even see him anymore. You can't even see the hammer. It's not even just one set of rings. It is one continuous ring, like somebody just hit a church bell and just left it ringing there in your face. And he's flying down the track, just going, just like hell was coming after him. And so this machine, he blazes past this machine, and it just keeps shuddering and following him, but it cannot keep up with him. He gets to the end, he takes a knee, and just smiles and watches as this machine shudders to a halt at the end of the track before it just falls apart, steam billowing out in just a huge cloud, and there's just gears and screws flying everywhere. And he just smiles one last time and says, "Yeah, I told you so," before he just falls over. And that was it. It's the last we ever heard from old John Henry. I don't know what all it means, but I do know one thing. This was a man who proved to me that it ain't about tools, it ain't about machines, it's about people. It's only people that can make things work right. Can't rely on the machines for nothing. It's all up to us.